Hi everyone, and welcome to the Fox's Den. Today, I want to take a run through kind of unusual EDC, but one that I use quite a lot is what I would call my DIY EDC. So it's what I use when I'm doing small jobs around the house, or even when I'm doing bigger jobs. This is generally what I carry around in my pockets around my person. Obviously, I've got toolboxes and different things, but this is just what I'd have in my pockets. So the first thing, and the probably thing I would always definitely have, is the Leatherman Surge. It's the biggest, bulkiest and heaviest Leatherman I have, but it's really robust, really strong, and really good for these type of jobs. So it's got replaceable wire cutters. It's Everything is really heavyweight on it. It's got some of these. It's got the changeable bit driver, which I'm not a big fan of, to be honest, because it has these stupid 2D bits, and then it has these kind of bottle openers and straight screwdrivers, which I probably don't use that much either. But it's the outside that's where it's good. It's got this serrated blade knife, which is great for cutting, cables, bits of pipes, that kind of thing. And then it's got an ordinary straight edge knife. It's got a scissors, which is pretty strong and heavyweight as well. Quite useful. They're all locking as well, I might add. And what else? It's got the saw. So the cool thing about the saw is it can be changed for like a standard hacksaw blade, which is really useful for cutting little precision work. That's kind of hard to get at with a hacksaw if you want to do a curve or something like that. So yeah, the Leatherman Surge, really cool tool to have with you. On the same sort of line, I also always have the Milwaukee Fastback. I think there is a Fastback without the screwdriver as well. I think it's Zach in the Wild kind of nicknamed this the 1505 based on its code name, but it is you can see this one is absolutely brand new because I actually gave the one I had to my dad when he was here a while ago. He just mentioned he doesn't have a utility knife, so I gave it to him and got a new one. Maybe I should have given him a new one, but anyway. So yeah, sorry, it's got a button lock here, and there's also space to carry spare blades in there. I don't have any in it yet because I haven't used it yet. The blades are very easily to replace just with this little button here, and it locks in place. Has really good ergonomics, feels good in the hand, closes with the button lock. And then on the back it's got this driver, which is much better than the Leatherman one, that locks at 90 degrees, and also an inline driver, and has a straight, so it's got a Phillips and a straight on the other side. It's got a little detent lock. It's got a deep carry pocket clip, which EDC guys love, and a bottle opener, which is not much use to me, to be honest, but everything has to have a bottle opener these days for some reason. But yeah, a really cool knife. I'd recommend it to anyone. I don't like to carry, Victorinox or some of my better knives when I'm doing these kind of jobs. When you have these, you can just, really chop into things without worrying too much. So yeah, cool thing to have on you. Staying with Milwaukee, I carry this. It is called, I think it's called the 6-in-1 or something. But it's basically, you can see I'll leave a link to it below, but it's a ratcheting screwdriver, and you can see it has really nice ratchet to it, and then you twist this to go the other way, or, which is handy sometimes, you can lock it in the middle and you just have a normal lock screwdriver. And you've got these nice long bits. So you've got six and one in the actual driver. So you've got 4 Phillips, one straight, 2 torques. And these, the only thing I would say about it is these are kind of difficult to get out. You have to kind of push it like that, get them out the end. They're definitely not going to fall out of there, but it's a bit, you wouldn't be changing them with gloves on or anything like that. It's a bit fiddly, but really robust, really cool screwdriver. I always like to carry it. Once you change to a ratchet screwdriver, you never want to go back to a normal screwdriver set. The other thing, which is always useful, particularly working in attics or under the stairs or stuff like that, is a head torch. So this is Petzl Area 1. So I think this one is specifically designed for kind of tradesman type work. So it's got a kind of a good spread, and you know, more than a point of light, it's kind of lighting up the area you're working on. So it's got 3 different settings. I think it goes up to 350 lumens, which is plenty for that kind of work. I find some LEDs these days are kind of too bright almost, and it's you know, when it reflects back off something, that actually hurts your eyes. I don't really like those. This has a little bit of adjustment like that, so you can get a good angle of what you're doing, and a nice comfortable head strap. They're not too expensive. There is a lot of people say that Petzl is no good, and you know, recommend Phoenix and all these things, but it works really well for me, and it's not hugely expensive. The other obvious thing is a measuring tape. This is the Stanley high vis type 1. Nothing special about it. I have lots of them. I'm just looking up here. There's Stanley, there's Milwaukee, there's everything hanging up behind me here. But yeah, it's critical for when you're doing work. And when you're going to write down your measurements, always good to have a little notepad with you and a pencil. One stolen from IKEA. I have to say I'm not a fan of what do you call them, carpenter's pencils. I just find them a bit awkward, particularly when I tend to write down measurements quite a lot. You know, I guess I tend to measure something, you know, in the attic and then go out to the garden to cut it. And I write down my measurements, that kind of thing. So it's useful for that to have a nice small notepad. Another thing for more precise type work is just a torch. So this is a pretty simple 2 AA battery type torch. It's the Phoenix E20. It's a little bit big for regular EDC, but it's perfect for this kind of thing when you have work trousers on or whatever. It has a good clip in it, and it has I think, does it have 2 or 3 settings? 3 settings. That goes up to 350 as well. So even though you have the head torch, sometimes if you're you know, I don't know, in an awkward space under a sink or something like that, it's useful to have a hand torch that you can point at what you're looking at. The other thing that I always consider part of EDC, which people don't necessarily consider it, is your watch. And I love wearing an F91W, the Casio, the kind of most famous and most sold Casio, I think, or any watch, I think, in the world. I've got mine on a NATO strap that makes it just a little bit more comfortable, particularly for doing that kind of work. It takes a lot of abuse, and you know, if you do break it, you can just get a new one for €15 or whatever they are these days. You can see I've got paint all over it. I actually, the last time I was painting, I wore this and I got paint literally covered to the screen, and I just kind of scraped it back off again and fine. Yeah, you wouldn't do that with a Rolex Daytona, would you? So yeah, it's a cool watch, and does exactly what you need for these type of jobs, and you don't have to worry banging it off anything. A little tip, if you are going to change your strap, is that these, if you're going to push these pins out, they go in one direction. I think there's an arrow on the strap. But this, another way to see is that one of the holes, it's hard to see there, but one is bigger than the other. So you need to push it through from the small hole side, obviously, and pop it out. I think one goes one way and the other goes the other way. Or no, they both go the same way actually. But yeah, that's I mean the original strap is fine as well. But yeah, it's a cool watch for this kind of thing. And the other thing is a good pair of gloves. So I like to wear these mechanics, I think they're Impact they're called, are they? Or, Fast Fit. I think these new ones have a this Fast Fit have an elastic wrist on them. Some of the older ones had a Velcro thing that was a bit annoying. These are better, but these kind of leathery ones are really good. You can see I've used these a bit. Nice and robust, protect your hands. Obviously they're a little bit thick if you're doing any sort of very precision work. I find when I'm working on cars and stuff like that, I don't wear gloves because you know, everything is a bit fiddly with nuts and bolts and stuff. The other things then that I carry, depending on what I'm doing, if I'm doing plumbing work, I like to carry a Nipex plumber wrench. This one is the 125. I've got a few different sizes. I think the biggest one I have is 200. I've got 150, 200, and the little 100 one. So handy and so useful. They're kind of become popular in the EDC world, but to be honest, I wouldn't carry it every day. As you can see, mine is too dirty for Instagram photographs, but it gets used properly. And yeah, I don't do any emergency plumbing as I'm during my working day or anything, so I don't carry it around. But when I'm doing plumbing, it's really good, and I'm always surprised at how big of a pipe I can open with these for the size of them. They have amazing power. And if I'm doing plumbing work, also a good thing to have is one of these type radiator bleed valves. I've got a few different ones of these, and I have to say, I just don't know where they are, but the little brass ones I find are not much good. You can't get any strength on them, and they just get damaged because the brass is so soft. And then I had these kind of cross brace one and then it doesn't fit in between the two radiators, or the two radiator I don't know what you call them, bands. But yeah, I find these type excellent. So yeah, what else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd love to hear if you can think of anything else that I should be carrying. I suppose I change it from job to job. Oh yeah, and if I was doing electrical work, another one thing that I would carry is one of these, for checking if there is power in something. You know, obviously we turn off the power whenever I'm doing anything, but it it's nice to have a little double check on one of these. Useful thing to have. So yeah, let me know what you carry when you're doing DIY, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like, and hopefully there'll be more content coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys.